is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
With your weekly high school sports update, I'm Nick Sainert. Capital City Schools had a respectable showing last Friday with Lincoln High beating South Sioux City 26-21. Lincoln Northeast stayed undefeated and improved to 4-0 with a 35-27 win against North Platte. Lincoln North Star blew out Omaha South 57-8. And in an inner city matchup, Lincoln East shut out Lincoln Southwest 20-0. We now turn our attention to Week 5 action this Thursday and Friday night with Lincoln Southeast traveling to number 1 Millard South. Lincoln Northeast hosts number 6 Omaha North and number 4 Kearney versus number 10 Lincoln East this Friday night. This has been your weekly high school update on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
It is the Adam Carriker Show, but thus it is not Adam Carriker. I'm Jake Bachman in with Jake Sorensen. Carriker is out for today. We'll be back on Monday, so look out for that. But maybe just enjoying a little bit of the bye week, as many of us are. But we are still here, ready to talk some Husker football, college football, NFL, and anything else that comes to mind in the sports realm. Once again, very rarely is it time for the Jakes on 93.7 The Ticket, but here we are. Jake Sorensen, how's it going this morning?
I ask you the same question, Bach. You are a Cardinals fan that lost last night by 3 points at home to the Seahawks. Are you okay this morning, Bach?
I'm okay.
Like I'm used to losing as a Dolphins fan. It doesn't hurt me anymore. And the Cardinals have been a typical losing team in your lifetime, besides a Super Bowl appearance in like 2010. However, good start to the season. What, they 3-0, right? 3-0?
2-0.
Now they're 2-2. Lost to the Niners, lost to the Seahawks. Back to level 500.
Back to where the expectation, I think, for the year was 500, around there for the Cardinals. Mixed reviews. The jerseys I thought looked pretty good, which they were planning on throwing out there. And then it's just it's tough with the Marvin Harrison Jr.
We got to fix Maserati Marv, right? Wasn't that Gus Johnson's nickname for him? Maserati Marv.
There's something wrong with him. I don't know.
He got the yips with catching. In the first half, he had if you didn't watch the game, listeners, he had a slant route from Kyler Murray, perfect throw. He just bobbled it, and he got picked off and taken like 30 yards back for Seahawks, not for a touchdown, but no reason that should ever be picked off or even dropped. And then he had touchdown in the second half, had a couple of nice catches, so some redemption, but he had the horrible drop against the Niners in the game, another bad drop, 2 drops last night. First round pick. Come on, Marv.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Marvin.
Expected to be the next Larry Fitzgerald, right? In
Not
Arizona.
so far,
has not been. And like you said, the 49ers game, he had 2 big drops in that game. One that would have been a touchdown, like you said. And then last night, you could even blame 2 interceptions on him. There was the bobble, and then there was the miscommunication with Kyler. Again, maybe that's more on Kyler than Marvin, but it looked like he stopped running his route. So it's been tough sledding as a Cardinals fan.
You know what,
but
though,
it is
Bud?
what I expected.
You're not 0-3.
That's right.
My pathetic, beloved Miami Dolphins, you have the longest possible break you can have without having a bye week. They played last Thursday. They play this Monday.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically a bye week without being a bye week.
Yeah.
Having that much time between games.
Is it the Jets they have this week?
It is the Jets.
The Jets. Okay. How are you feeling about that matchup?
Well, I hate the Jets, and the Jets stink, but
Yeah.
the Dolphins stink more. I mean, I think the Dolphins are going to go 2-15 this year, if that. That might be good for Miami to go 2-15. They have an idiot GM. They have an idiot head coach. They've got a quarterback that has lost his way. The defense can't stop. The defense has I think forced a punt twice this year.
Pretty rough.
Things are great.
Yeah.
Oh, besides that, things are awesome.
Yeah.
Just love it.
So is it time to blow it up in Miami? Restart or what's
Every single year is the time to blow it up in Miami. I mean, I'm 34 years old, and 2 years ago, the Dolphins probably gave me the most fun season I've ever had watching. They had all these blowout wins. Tyreek had the huge year. Tua was great. Raheem Mostert was awesome. Devon Achane was awesome as a rookie. And the 70 points on the Broncos was awesome.
Yeah.
And the defense, was great. Van Ginkel was great. Now he's obviously with the Vikings, and they lose, Phillips and Chubb. They had Ramsey was there. It was that team was destined to be, make a deep run in the playoffs. Well, guess what? In typical Miami fashion, they blow a horrendous game to the Titans in Monday Night Football game that is still unforgivable to this date. And then you get injuries to Phillips and Chubb to end that season, and they go into Arrowhead and get beat 26-7 by the Chiefs. Didn't even win a playoff game. No playoff win since 2001, Bach.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm like Nebraska. Think about me. Not trying to make people feel bad for me, but I'm a massive sports fan, and my 2 favorite teams are Miami Dolphins football and Nebraska men's basketball. One team has not won a playoff game in 25 years. The other team has made the dance twice this millennium, this century, and has, of course, never, ever won an NCAA tournament game. Boy, if I am a fan of one of your teams out there, I apologize because I am the problem. It is me, as T. Swift would say. I'm the problem.
That's right. Yeah, good T. Swift.
I don't even know what winning feels like, but I have no idea what it feels like to win.
Do you have a team that you do follow? The Royals don't help too much. I mean, they got their wins.
The Royals won the World Series in 2015, and that was a shock to everybody in the world that happened. That was nice. I was also a Cardinals fan before that. I left.
That's right.
I think the problem is I don't know how to handle success. I was telling my wife the other day, she wanted to know the background. I'm a Royals fan. I said, well, I was a Cardinals fan up until through 2011. They won the World Series in 2011, and I bailed. I said, I need something else. So our station, the ticket was carrying the Royals. I said, okay, I'll be a Royals fans close by. And again, they sucked. It wasn't like I jumped on a bandwagon. They went 70-92 the first year. I wasn't exactly rooting for the Yankees or the Dodgers here.
Right.
They had a nice run, of course, with Moustakis and Hosmer and all those guys, and that was fun. But that's not my childhood there. My childhood is Dolphins football, Nebraska basketball, and Nebraska football. And it has just been gut-wrenchingly bad for all of them for the most part.
Yeah, it's an interesting ride. The teams that you choose, oftentimes, I remember the Tom Stevens rules, you got to pick your team at 8. So you could have made some switches there.
I made the Cardinal. You guys, I will allow any listener out there to bash me for that because I accept that. I embrace the Tom Stevens philosophy. I feel bad about that because I was in college when I left the Cardinals. College, way past being a kid, but because the station carried the Royals, I was a station guy. My guys of Pujols and Edmonds and Roland were all gone from the Cardinals. I didn't really recognize the roster anymore. I said, this is the time to make this rare leap, and I have not looked back at all.
Now, were you a Cardinals fan through Mark McGuire and that, that run?
Yeah, that's who made me a Cardinals fan.
Yeah,
So I at age 6, I chose the Cardinals, and I left them. And I had all sorts of T-shirts, a Cardinal shirt. I had a Scott Rowland poster in my room in Beatrice. I was a diehard. I went to many games at Busch Stadium. I went to go watch them at Coffin when I was not a Royals fan, and they were good. They were good for so long. And I didn't leave them because they stunk. Again, I left them at the top. They had just won the World Series. I said, I'm moving on. Sayonara.
Now, let me ask you,
I can't understand. I can't even embrace success.
How do you leave a franchise? What, especially at the top? Was it the winning had just become enough?
It
was just like you felt like, it happens.
Like I'm used to just being in misery all the time, Buck. I don't know what it's like to win. I'm used to going to the sports bar, seeing my team get beat, win one game and feel like I'm on top of the world, then lose 4 in a row. And if you're Nebraska basketball, feel good about being in the dance conversation, which is how we usually feel about them. Again, this year, right now, preseason thought in the conversation, not a for sure team, but probably on the fringe, like we've lived our entire lives on the fringe.
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle sports success, and I don't allow myself to even have it.
That's right. You're gonna abandon ship if anybody does well.
Do you understand, Buck, how many people have told me, "Oh, Jake, it's your time to leave the Dolphins and root for the Chiefs"? I hate the Chiefs. I loathe the Chiefs. I don't like them at all. I don't like anything about the Chiefs. I will never in my lifetime, even though they're close by, it's a fun stadium. I saw the Huskers down there week 1 beat Cincinnati. Like, it's fun to tailgate down there. I don't like the franchise.
Do you hate them post Patrick Mahomes, or did you dislike them before?
I've never liked him.
Yeah.
I've never been. This probably goes back to my first ever NFL game was the 2003 NFL season. I'm sorry, 2002 NFL season.
Okay.
Forgive me on that. 2002. The Dolphins were 3-0, and the Chiefs were 3-0. This was the Chiefs of Trent Green, Priest Holmes, Eddie Kennison, Johnny Morton, Tony Gonzalez, and the Dolphins of Jay Fiedler, Ricky Williams, Chris Chambers, Aronde Gadsden, like my guys. And the Dolphins lost that day 48-31. Now, at that time, Bach, things have changed. Like, I went to a Chiefs game last year, and they don't do it anymore. After Chiefs touchdowns or scores, they used to do this. We're gonna beat the hell out of you. You. And I'm a 11-year-old kid in the stands, and I'm crying. And my dad says, we can't cry at a football game. I'm not mad at him. This is not a shot at my dad at all. It's not. I'm not.
He had to teach you the lesson.
I'm not making him like the bet. No, it's the fact that the Chiefs caused me one of my just worst ever sports fandom memories. That is just. I mean, they got. I'm 11. They got in my ears. Like we were in the nosebleeds, like way in the southwest part of the stadium, way up there. I had binoculars. I couldn't see you so far away. And I go to sleep that night. We're gonna beat the hell out of you. Like, they got in I'm a kid. They're in my business.
Well, no wonder why you hate the Chiefs. That makes a little bit more sense. We do have
I'll never be a Chiefs fan.
Some thoughts on the text line. 1000 says Raider Nation. Bog Jake joined the Black and Silver Slayers.
No chance. No. I don't want to root for their terrible franchise. Sorry.
0884 says become an Iowa fan so then they can start to suck big time.
That's okay. I can consider that. That's people are think I am an Iowa fan because I used to live in Iowa. I've never been a Hawkeyes fan, never a Cyclones fan. I've always been Nebraska through and through. So no, and I did grow up in the hometown of Kyle Vandenbosch.
That's right.
Legendary. Now it's also the hometown of LeVar Woods, who is the special teams coach for Iowa.
Dynamic special teams coach.
The Larchwood, Inwood, Iowa, Westline High School area. So very successful football area of the country. I respect that part of Iowa.
Is it Iowa country or Iowa State country?
That's Iowa country.
That's Iowa country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, I'd say almost. Yeah, very high Iowa percentage.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
So I will always defend that part of Iowa. Always. That's it, though. That's it. It stops there. The little northwest tip of Iowa, and Okoboji is a good time too. I'll defend Okoboji, and I'll defend Larchwood / Westline. That's all I got for you.
Council Bluffs.
No, I lose too much money there.
But at least you go there and have some fun.
I have. I've been there for a long time. But
yeah. That's what I always at least say Council Bluffs not too bad. I always think it's funny too, right when you cross the border, you start to see some more hills. Like Nebraska's just like, all right, this is where we should stop. There's some sort of topography going on here. So that's always kind of funny. NFL teams that you have been impressed by. You mentioned the Chiefs. Do you think that they've lost their hold on the AFC, or you still think the AFC runs through Kansas City?
It's a good question. I would say they've looked so uninspiring so far, but the Chiefs always find a way. As long as they have Andy Reid and Mahomes, and I'm not going to say even Travis Kelce's still good. He's definitely aging before us very quickly.
Sure.
As long as you have Reid and Mahomes, they're always going to be the team to beat. But especially because teams like the Bills are so good, and they cannot beat the Chiefs in the postseason.
Right.
The team that has beaten the Chiefs in the postseason has been the Bengals. And the Bengals now, Joe Burrow can't stay healthy. It's not his fault. It's just bad offensive line. So I can't say it goes to the Bengals. The Bills want to be that team. But also, think about this. I mean, Jim Harbaugh is 3-0 right now. Has it been a pretty 3-0? No, they almost lost the Broncos, but they won the game. Jim Harbaugh is a winner.
Yeah.
He might do it in a cheating fashion most of the time. But last time I checked, cheating wins still count as non-cheating wins in the NFL.
There's no asterisks next to Michigan.
So I think that you're looking at a Chargers team that's been so close for years to being really good. They just had bad losses. Going back to Norv Turner, obviously Brandon Staley has just found incredible ways to lose games. They were up 27-0 in a playoff game and lost.
I remember that.
At halftime. 27-0 at half and lost in regulation to the Jags a couple years ago. That can't happen.
That's right.
They're always so talented. It's just they're missing that head coach. Now they have it. So I can't say right now that the AFC runs with the Chargers until they actually win that big game and win in the playoffs and get to the title. But as of right now, it still runs with the Chiefs until proven otherwise.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. And I mean, the other team that's often mentioned is the Baltimore Ravens. They started 1-2. Close loss to the Lions, 1 point loss at the beginning of the year to the Bills. Still think they're a contender right up there?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Yeah, they've got to be in there in the AFC. As we turn our attention again to the NFC, unfortunately, my Cardinals lost, so they dropped to 2-2. But some interesting teams there. Obviously, you just got to say Philadelphia. Philadelphia's got to be the team that the NFC runs through. But then I think you're looking maybe at some teams in the NFC North, perhaps San Francisco, Tampa Bay off to 3-0 starts.
Tampa Bay, not surprised by them. Tampa Bay, almost blew it to the Jets last week. They're up, I think, 23-6 going into the fourth quarter and just kind of collapsed. Had, of course, the block kick return for a touchdown. And, Baker Mayfield has been always a clutch quarterback. He got a bad deal in Cleveland the way that went out. And he had a couple years. He was lost in the desert. Went to the Rams, went to the Panthers, and we forgot about Baker, but Baker didn't forget. He keeps saying, I kept receipts, is what Baker says. He's a very motivated person to prove people wrong, and he's been really good the last couple of years. But no, the Bucs will be a team that's going to be tough to beat in the NFC. I like their defense. I think their offense has obviously great weapons. Mike Evans is getting older as we speak, and so is Chris Godwin, who's been battling injuries. But Baker Mayfield now has Emeka Egbuka, who's kicking butt so far this year. And I don't know, maybe he's different. People can push back on this all they want. I hope they do push back. But I'm always big on coaches who have an aura and can inspire people. I love Dan Campbell.
Absolutely.
Dan Campbell took a losing program historically and made them a winner very quickly. Todd Bowles is the head coach of the Bucs. Now, I don't know Todd Bowles I don't know any head coaches personally at all, but Todd Bowles on the sideline in the media doesn't seem like a very motivating person. He's very quiet, but he's won with the Jets. He's won with the Bucs. He must be doing something well in the locker room or in the practice, because he doesn't seem like the most inspiring coach, but he wins games. So I'm always amazed at his general success, because he's not rah-rah.
Yeah. He's not
like our man Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's biting off kneecaps. Meanwhile, Mike McDaniel in Miami is wearing joggers. And he's wearing
he's kind of an enigma.
He looks like the guy you stuffed in a locker in middle school. I mean, that's what he is.
Yeah.
How is that guy going to inspire men to go play football?
Like you said, maybe he did it his
That's
first
why
year
he's
there,
on the way
but
out.
Yeah,
Get him out.
probably
Get him
gonna
out.
be. Yeah, you've turned on him.
Get him out.
Fair enough. As we look at the schedule this week in the NFL, some interesting games. I think Minnesota and Pittsburgh, I think, might be among the most interesting. Of course, that one going to be in Dublin to start off the day on Sunday. We mentioned Tampa Bay. They're going to host Philadelphia. That should be a big game as well. You look at the nightcap, Sunday Night Football, you get Green Bay at Dallas. Of course, Dallas always interesting regardless of their record. And then Monday Night Football, you mentioned it. Your Dolphins will take on or host the Jets. Also, Denver hosting Cincinnati. You like the double Monday Night Football? No. Even if your Dolphins aren't in, I'm not thinking about spotlight away.
I hate it. I hate
in
it.
general.
I've always said this is going to be, again, this is like all my bugaboos coming out right now. If it was a perfect world and I got to pick how games were played, every game will be played at noon on Sunday.
Okay,
at least the Dolphins would play every game at noon.
Okay.
Sunday. I like
just your best time.
I like going to the sports bar and seeing all the games on TV and having my lunch, having a couple beers. By 3:00, I'm on my way of either happiness or depression.
But you know what the day is.
The Dolphins have been, if you look at the primetime records, it's horrible. The Dolphins are like the saddest ever primetime performing team. They lose every game in primetime. Every game. They don't win. It's a miracle that when they get. So played the Bills Thursday night, primetime. What a surprise they lost.
Yeah.
They play the Jets, who are terrible.
A winnable game.
They're going to lose on Monday night and go to 0-4. Because the Dolphins don't play well in primetime.
One game I didn't mention, too, Chiefs hosting Baltimore. So that should be a good one. Baltimore could, one of those teams falling to 1-3. So not off to a good start for those teams that we talk about as some of the best in the AFC. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll jump into some college football and Husker football talk as well. But I do want to let everybody know that the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications, hour number 1, bringing you the latest quality technology and communication services since 1901. Whether it's residential or business, Hamilton has the answers. Visit hamiltontel.com for more info today. We'll take a quick break. The Jakes, Jake Sorensen, Jake Bachman, will be back on the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket after this.
Is your heating system ready for cooler weather? Call Bryant to schedule your fall heating check. No matter what brand, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Schwezo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwezo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
With your weekly high school sports update, I'm Nick Sainert. Capital City Schools had a respectable showing last Friday with Lincoln High beating South Sioux City 26-21. Lincoln Northeast stayed undefeated and improved to 4-0 with a 35-27 win against North Platte. Lincoln North Star blew out Omaha South 57-8. And in an inner city matchup, Lincoln East shut out Lincoln Southwest 20-0. We now turn our attention to Week 5 action this Thursday and Friday night with Lincoln Southeast traveling to number 1 Millard South. Lincoln Northeast hosts number 6 Omaha North, and number 4 Kearney versus number 10 Lincoln East this Friday night. This has been your weekly high school update on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer.
Mmm.
Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com. If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bakoven in with Jake Sorensen. Adam is out today. We'll be back next week. We've got plenty of college football talk. I also wanted to ask Sorensen, who was talking about his tortured fan base decision.
Oh, it's torture.
Earlier about the Royals and kind of how he views that season. We'll get to that here in a second. But first, a word from our sponsor, Jake, if you could do the honor.
Yes, you and I, Buck, are not Adam Carriker. We're also not, by any means, former NFL players.
No, I don't think so.
But Culligan cares about you and me and NFL players. We are both can be health nuts. You've been focusing more on your health recently. I've been
a little bit
disparaging you at times for that.
That's right.
I want you to live a little bit. But here's the deal. Hydration and recovery start at home, Buck. That's why we have teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects our water, heater, and appliances. Culligan's high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, add Culligan reverse osmosis, bottled quality water right at the tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, listen up, right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That is CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Well, there we go. Good to hear. And obviously, we've enjoyed plenty of Culligan
water
over the
here.
year. Yeah. no doubt. Now, I did want to ask you about the Royals real quick. Of course, they are eliminated from the wild card, have a 3-game set with the A's to kind of close out the season. And I just wanted to know, because it's an interesting position to be in. If they get swept, they'll technically have a losing season. If they win 2, they'll have a winning season. If they win 1 in these final games, they'll finish 500. Is that important to you at this point? It is. Yes. To technically be 500 or above.
Listen, I hate to always bring back to the Dolphins here, but there's been radio hosts on the station over the years that have mocked the Dolphins for being 8-8 forever, 9-7, 7-9. They missed the playoffs. The goals are out the window. I don't really think the difference in a draft pick is that big in the middle rounds, that it's important to go 80-82 versus 81-81. You want to be 82-80. I mean, you want to know that, yes, the season did not end how you wanted it to, but like the goal is always to, at the worst, have a winning season. Be in contention. And the Royals were in contention until the very last week of the season. Kudos to them on that. Had a rough stretch with all the pitching that went out, and the bats went cold, and that's baseball. But yeah, it's important. And like when the Dolphins are out of the playoffs at 8-7 or 8-8, I want them to finish that last game with the win and say, you know what, we can always say that although it was the season was not what we wanted, they went 9-8. You want to feel like you can get above 500 any year. So yes, Bach, it is important. I am watching these last games closely to make sure the Royals finish strong.
Yeah, it is interesting because going back to football too, the Cardinals were in a position last year, and I think it's different in football. Like you disagree. You're saying you'd like to win that last game, but usually when it gets to week 17, now week 18 in football, if my team's out of it, I don't really want them to win a useless game at the end and go from the 5th pick of the draft to the 9th pick of the draft or something like that. That can have a bigger implication. But in baseball, I think you're right. Maybe a little bit less. And you're kind of rooted where you want to, where you're going to be anyway. We all know kind of the Major League Baseball draft a little bit different than the NFL draft as far as picking your top prospects there. It is also interesting to note, just if they do win, there's not a whole lot of winning seasons without World Series for the
it's bad
for the
Royals. That's why it's important.
Yeah, that's why I think, especially for the Royals, would be important. Of course, they had a winning season last year and made the playoffs, but there hasn't been few and far between. I mean, in 2014 and 2015, when they made the World Series and of course won the World Series, those were some years that they had some winning records. You look at 2016, they were 500. 2014, they did have winning records.
That was a disappointing year. 2016, they still had a lot of guys back from the World Series roster. They thought they would be a playoff team, and just it was bad, disappointing. And then it's gone very bad since then. Besides last year, a playoff team. Of course, they beat the Orioles on the road to in the wild card round and lost to the Yankees in the second round. But no, they thought this was a playoff team this year, so it's going to be a disappointing year. But you can put a bow on a disappointing year by finishing still over 500 to have something to hang your hat on.
Yeah, and of course it is the era, the Royals era of Bobby Witt. So at least you can just throw in some during these years you had some winning records, whatever it may be. It was pretty tough too when you go back to those World Series teams of Kansas City. Now again, a decade ago, to kind of watch them get broken up. They did keep Alex Gordon. I don't know if that was the best decision for the team, but
he's a Hall of Famer with the Royals, and deservedly so. And that contract did not wreck the Royals.
I was going to say, what else?
He was still fine. He was never an elite hitter. He's obviously a great defender. Yeah. He's never been an elite hitter, but Gordo had his purpose in KC. It's just, their guys in the minors weren't ready yet. Didn't draft well in that time frame. Like they drafted well to get the guys like Moustakas and Hosmer up to major league level, and they made the big trade of Zach Greinke to the Brewers to get Escobar and Lorenzo Cain, which were huge parts of that team, of those years of teams. But former GM Dayton Moore just missed on a couple guys, which hurt the franchise. And that's baseball, though.
Yeah, that happens. Who was the toughest to watch from that group to leave? Hosmer?
Hosmer got a big contract with the Padres. That was tough. Moustakas. I mean, Hosmer and Moose were. I watched those guys come up with the Storm Chasers. I went to Omaha. My uncle's got tickets to those games. It was just fun for that span of time watching Hosmer make the leap to the majors and Moustakas. Like those guys were just mashing.
It was just fun when the Moose was loose, right?
Yeah, the Moose was loose. Yeah, Rex Huther. And then there's a time also that Will Myers, who was a big part of the trade that helped the Royals get to the World Series, or these, James Shields comes over. They needed to have an ace. They needed to have a guy that was, again, he was never the best pitcher in baseball, but he was a dude that ate up innings and was an alpha on the mound in 2014 and 13. And they traded Will Myers, who was a top prospect in baseball. I saw Will Myers hit a grand slam off of Roy Oswalt in Omaha once. It was, and just smoked it. Like legendary pitcher Roy Oswalt for the Phillies and Astros just piped one. And so, but that was a big trade for the Royals, and that was hard to lose him, but it helped the team make the run. But I'd say Hosmer was the roughest block. He just had some moxie to him. But I love Moose. It just, that whole team breaking apart was devastating. But that's small market baseball. It's baseball. That's sports.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I was listening to the drive as they were kind of talking about what their ideal World Series would be. Do you think that it would be better to have another Yankees-Dodgers World Series, or would you think the smaller market teams maybe could make it a little bit more interesting?
I disagree a lot with Steve Sipple on early break is a front runner. He likes the teams that are the big wigs. He likes when royalty is good, both in college football. He wants Bama to be good. He wants Georgia to be good. He wants Michigan to be good. I like the underdog. And so I understand for the sake of viewership that MLB wants Dodgers Yankees. They do. I'm sick of that crap. Like I was sick of Alabama always making the title in football. I'm sick of that. I like change, but change does not get the viewership. People like their brands, and I just feel differently.
Yeah, but it kind of depends again on your own way that you like to take it in. They were specifically talking about like Brewers, Mariners, which would be their first World Series.
I would
Some
love
stories
that.
like that would be cool.
I don't think baseball nationally that's not going to get viewership though. The Mariners are such a great story. Cal Raleigh, 60 home runs, awesome story. Rodriguez is good. That's a team that just historically, ever since Ichiro was there, has been very bad. The Brewers, of course, I don't know anybody in the Brewers at all. Nobody. They won 95 games. I don't know a single person. And I watch baseball somewhat. I don't know anybody in that team. Like Ryan Braun, is he still there at all? Like Prince Fielder's still there.
Who was the guy that's playing for like Arkansas football now? The Monty Harrison.
Yeah,
wasn't he with the Brewers?
He was drafted there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I have personally, even though I've been to the stadium several times, I have no interest in the Brewers at all, and I think the world feels the same way. But Mariners is great. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But it does not help viewership at all for baseball, and they need viewers badly.
Yeah. So we'll see what kind of turns around the corner. Of course, Major League Baseball playoffs will be starting here. Many teams going into their final series of the regular season. Hopefully, my Red Sox get in. They look like they're in a pretty good position. They've got a final series with Detroit. If you're kind of following the wild card standings there, Boston's up one game. They've got that series with Detroit, who is at even, and then Houston is back a game of the wild card race in the American League. In the National League, looks like the Mets are in as of now. Cincinnati behind one game and Arizona behind 2 games. So we'll see kind of how that all shows out. I mean, and those are fun. Those series that come down to either making the playoffs or not. It's kind of like an extension of the playoffs. So that will be fun to kind of see how that plays out. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. Sorensen's in for one more segment. I want to catch up with him and get his thoughts on Husker football thus far this season. It's always fun to have different conversations with different people and the different angles that they come come at Nebraska football and how they think about the season is going. So we'll do that coming up next year on the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Nebraska Lottery.
Do you have a new lotto game called Nebraska Pick 4?
Yes, sir. It costs just $1 to play. There's a $6,000 top prize with drawings every day, and you can choose from 6 different bet types.
Kind of like Nebraska Pick 3 with a bigger jackpot and more bet options?
Yes, sir. Any other questions I can answer?
Yeah, I misplaced my phone. Do you know where it is?
You're using it.
Ah, so I am. You lottery people know everything.
Straight bet top prize odds 1 in 10,000.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you ready to transform your body and your life in just 10 weeks? At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, our kickboxing challenge combines heart-pumping cardio, strength training, and proven nutrition coaching to deliver real results. Lose fat, gain strength, and feel more confident than ever. Spots are limited. Don't wait. Join the next Farrell's 10-week challenge starting October 11th and take the first swing towards a healthier, stronger you. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, results, not excuses. Join today, fxblincoln.com. That's fxblincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We are going to see plenty of sunshine here for the rest of our Friday. We'll get all the way up to 85 for a high temperature with a little bit of a breeze here this afternoon. That breeze will die down if you're heading out to any high school football games tonight. We'll drop down to 60 for an overnight low. Weekend's looking great. We'll get up to 81 for a high on Saturday and 86 on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Donna for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer.
Mmm.
Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
It's time for Bonsall Pool and Spa's Truckload event. From September 23rd through the 27th, stop by Bonsall Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to see an actual truck full of hot tubs with special prices. You'll save up to $3,000 on all hot tubs and swim spas, as well as $1,500 on all saunas and cold plunges. Use Nebraska football's bye week well by stopping in on September 27th for refreshments and giveaways. That's Bonsall Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard in Lincoln.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! We are back here on the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket. Once again, Adam Carriker, the big man, is out today. He will be back on Monday. So for now, it is myself, Jake Bachman, and Jake Sorensen in. But Jake is going to get busy, so we're going to have to let him go. So this is our final segment with Jake Sorensen. Austin Orman will jump in with me shortly. Then, of course, after the next hour, we'll be Bach in the black shirt. So Terrell Farley, the Hall of Famer, Husker Hall of Famer, All-American, will join me as well for our normal show. But Sorensen, I wanted to get your thoughts here in a second on Nebraska football, where they are at this point in the season. It's always fun to kind of get different views on the thoughts. And, of course, we've let the Michigan frustration, if you'll put it that way, boil out a little bit over this week. I also did want to give a shout-out to Good Sense, because it is Good Sense Friday here at 93.7 The Ticket. Excellent food. They just dropped it off. I always get pepper bread. Are you a big pepper fan?
I love pepper.
Oh,
yeah.
Have you tried the pepper bread?
I like Dr. Pepper.
Well, yeah, Dr. Pepper. I get Dr. Pepper with a side of pepper bread on my sandwich. It is fantastic. You got to go out and try some pepper bread if you're a pepper fan.
It's a lot of pepper, Buck.
I know. Give me more. I'm a big pepper guy. Now to the question: Nebraska football this point in the season. About where you thought that you'd expect they would be. What are your kind of thoughts for Nebraska football? If you just tell an outsider in a few paragraphs.
Well, I mean, it's disappointing the way they lost to Michigan. Just the fact that the Lions got dismantled on both sides, and Matt Rule was on Pat McAfee yesterday and said, it's disappointing. That's not going to define us, and you got to hope he's right. You got to hope that this team bounces back, because the Cincinnati game, I thought the Lions were okay. I mean, they didn't stop Brendan Sorsby from running the ball that well in the first game, but I thought they did a good job of protecting Raiola in that game. Offensive line did. The defensive line was not huge in that game, but we knew that was already a problem. That's not been a question in terms of the issues with the defensive line. The O-line was surprisingly bad against Michigan, and that's probably partially Wink Martindale is a great coordinator, and he knows how to get at certain weaknesses, and that's now on film, which is unfortunate for Nebraska. But you have a week to get things right. You got 2 weeks off, or you got a week off, and you play next week against Michigan State at home. And 3-1 is not a surprise. It's just, I think the problem, Bach, is that the Michigan game was a chance for Nebraska to prove to themselves and to the conference that, hey, we haven't arrived, but we're almost here. Like, yeah, we got to get over the hump against Michigan, against Ohio State and Oregon and Penn State. But beating Michigan at home, who won the title 2 years ago, would have been a statement and a winnable game. And the problem is that now you've got 4 games, and there'll be no ranked teams ahead. You got Michigan State is unranked, Minnesota's unranked with the bad loss to Cal.
Yeah.
Then you have Maryland also on the radar. Maryland's a tough team. They're not going to be a gimme game. And then you host Northwestern, who's not very good. So the month of October presents opportunity once again, which Nebraska had last year and had, and the year before that, and has not done a great job when it presents himself that way. So if they can somehow go 4-0 in October, which is feasible, get to 7-1 before USC comes to town, you forgive the Michigan loss and say, okay, we proved that we are still a pretty good team. But that's the problem, is that this fan base just knows that something bad might happen at any given time, and you hope the team doesn't feel that exact same way.
Yeah, it's interesting too. I saw an article by Chuck Bousman of SI said Husker season will be defined by unranked opponents.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
I
is
totally
yeah,
agree with that.
Yeah, and it's somewhat unfortunate, like you said. I think the idea or the hope is that you can kind of have it all at once, right? Make that big rise, beat the Michigans, the Penn States, the USCs of the world that are on your schedule, and rise up the ranks in the Big Ten. But that's often sometimes we put the cart before the horse. Sometimes you got to fight with the middle of the Big Ten, and quite frankly, avoid those bad losses to the bottom of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And that would be progress for Nebraska. You still have your opportunities. I mean, USC and Penn State, like I said, are likely going to be ranked when you play against them, so they will be able to punch up. But when I saw that article, I thought that that was a very good point. Is that I think while we would wish to make that giant step, everybody's talking about year 3 Matt Rule. Well, if you look at Matt Rule just in general, it's not based off defeating these big upsets, and that's where he made his name. It was program building and winning a lot of games that those teams were supposed to win by the time he left.
Who else did that? Bo Pelini did that.
Yeah.
Bo did a great job of not losing to bad teams. He failed to win the big game a lot, and sometimes got blown out in the big game. That was a problem with Bo. But Bo hardly ever lost to bad teams. They always won those games they're supposed to win, right?
Yeah. And when you bring up Bo Pelini, do you think that is that a good bring up, or is that
it's better than what it has been. Again,
Right.
It's sad that if that's your ceiling, that's not very good for Nebraska. I mean, it's certainly 9 and 10 wins. We would love to have that every year because we've learned our lesson that it can get bad. And it has. So to get back to that level would be great. But I mean, you still then want to achieve more. The problem in all this, Bach, is freaking Indiana. Indiana football is the losingest program in the history of college football. They were 3-9 the year before Kurt Cignetti took over. 3-9. 11-2 last year. Made the playoff. This year might be a better team. That has taken every excuse you have off the shelf. Because guess what? Last year, easy schedule. Well, guess what? They beat you last year, 56-7.
Yeah.
So
massacre.
Why are Nebraska fans saying crap at Indiana with the easy schedule? You got your butts kicked by them on their field last year. They already have a nice win against Illinois. Maybe overranked Illinois is still a decent Illinois team.
Whatever, one way or
And
the
you know
other.
what? They have more chances than Nebraska. They have games at Oregon and at Penn State. Nebraska, of course, plays at Penn State. But the USC game is not quite the same pedigree as Oregon, at least right now.
Right.
So they have a chance to prove that they are legitimate. And what if they won both those games? Everything you use about the time it takes to build a program, it maybe it's an anomaly. It's an anomaly at the worst school ever in football history.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Kurt Cignetti
that just pisses you off because he's not making the same money as Rule, or it doesn't have you would think the same resources, but they do an exceptional job of scouting out players for the portal. Like we went through the roster the other day. We went through on Monday and said, where do these guys come from? Some are James Madison. A lot of them were at Indiana, just developed well under Cignetti.
Yeah.
And that's what you wanted
It's not,
with Matt
a
Rule.
whole lot of Alabamas and Georgias and Ohio States that are transferring in. It's kind of Western
we saw
Illinois.
a Kent State transfer there that's doing well. That is killing everything about fans saying it takes time. Does it take time? It can take time.
Yeah.
I think Bielema won pretty quickly to Illinois. They were respectable off the bat there.
Yeah.
Had a place that had sucked for years. So these other Big Ten schools, and look at Vanderbilt, for crying out loud. Vanderbilt has been the dog of the country for years in a very tough conference. And they're going to beat Utah State this week to go to 5-0. They have a Heisman contending quarterback in Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
They have every reason to end September thinking that the playoffs are in reach. The playoffs for Indiana and Vanderbilt. Schools we thought, NIL will just kill them more. No, apparently not.
Yeah, I mean, and that's been part of the frustration over the long term for Nebraska, is seeing other programs, whether it's kind of Kansas rise from the ashes, Iowa State now having a top 15 team, if not program, a top 20 type program in general. Just over the years, these teams kind of everybody kind of has their time in the spotlight. Nebraska has not been able to do that. Now, I would say though, you do see these kind of quick success stories Kurt Cignetti's getting a lot of coaches into conversations with their athletic directors right now because nobody's being. I do think that's a bit of an anomaly, but I also see the point.
It's happening at Indiana, though.
But I wouldn't try to. I would say that if Nebraska can go 4-0 this month, if they can beat these unranked teams, I wouldn't let the fact that some other people are having more success. I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Yeah.
But I would say you can still take some significant step forwards if you're Nebraska this year by just winning the games you're supposed to historically, or the games that they should win here. 8-9 wins without a big win. Would that be okay with you?
I guess, but again, I always hate to keep bringing up Cignetti.
Yeah.
Anomaly or not, that's happening in your conference. This is not a guy winning at an AAC school like a Cincinnati, or not Cincinnati, but a small school. He's not winning at in the Boise State Conference. They're doing it at a Power 4 conference that has been the crap school forever.
Yeah.
Forever. Sandlot forever. Sorry. No, but just having him have this success is a wonderful story for college football, and also really damning for schools that are bigger prestige that aren't getting it done in this new era of NIL. Because I know I'd be pretty confident, Buck, that Nebraska has better NIL than Indiana.
Mm. Yeah,
I may have been wrong. If I'm out of bounds, people can tell me I'm wrong. But if there's a world that Indiana has more NIL than Nebraska in football, what the hell's happening there then?
We got some big problems. Unless Indiana has some huge donor or something. But you mentioned October. Michigan State, at Maryland, at Minnesota, in Northwestern. 3-1 okay with you, or you got to go 4?
3-1's okay, because you're bowl eligible before November, which is great.
Yeah.
But 4-0, if you want to prove that you are legitimately a team on the rise and you're going to contend at the top of this conference, you got to go 4-0.
Yeah.
But
I think 3-1
with that
being
being said,
bowl conversation.
I would not be surprised if they went 4-0, but I do not expect that.
Not necessarily expecting. Okay.
I do not expect 4-0.
Obviously, anything worse, 2-2, you're starting to frustration starting to mount.
Right. And I'm curious. I'm like, okay, which game's scarier, Maryland or Minnesota?
Yeah.
I think Maryland's fan base does not show up to games, so it's not an intimidating environment. In Minnesota, Friday Night Football, PJ Fleck has owned Nebraska. I think that game should be the scariest of the month, but I'm not convinced that Maryland's not a scarier game right now.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting, and still that the results of this past weekend of San Diego State blanking Cal 34-0 is throwing me off on what Minnesota, who lost to Cal the previous week, might be. But we'll see. Michigan State's interesting too. They've got an offense, a quarterback that can run. Nick Marshall, wide receiver, that's pretty good. Their defense is awful. So Nebraska should be able, in the very least, to maybe win a shootout there. They at least should be positioned to do so.
Can I get some breaking news before we get to break?
Yeah.
News. This is per Hayes Fawcett, who works with Rivals and On3. This is as of 2 minutes ago. Nebraska has landed a commitment from 4-star wide receiver Jabari Watkins. 6'2", 185 from Thomasville, Virginia, chose the Huskers over Florida State, Cal, and Illinois. He's from Georgia. Again, 4-star player. This is his name is Jabari Watkins, class of 2027.
Okay, yeah, class 27.
So that's right now, as of 2 minutes ago, that commitment happened.
Well, thanks for the breaking news.
Yeah, I'm on top of it over here.
Yeah. You got to do the George Costanza. Now you leave once you break the news. On a good
That's
note.
what I do.
Well, thanks for jumping in with us. I think Austin is going to jump in with me next. We'll have more on the Adam Carriker Show coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer. Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
With your weekly high school sports update, I'm Nick Sainer. Capital City Schools had a respectable showing last Friday with Lincoln High beating South Sioux City 26-21. Lincoln Northeast stayed undefeated and improved to 4-0 with a 35-27 win against North Platte. Lincoln North Star blew out Omaha South 57-8, and in an inner-city matchup, Lincoln East shut out Lincoln Southwest 20-0. We now turn our attention to Week 5 action this Thursday and Friday night with Lincoln Southeast traveling to number 1 Millard South. Lincoln Northeast hosts number 6 Omaha North, and number 4 Kearney versus number 10 Lincoln East this Friday night. This has been your weekly high school update on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicked off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Yes, it is indeed the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hour number 2 here as we get it rolling. I'm Jake Buckman in, as usual, on the Adam Carriker Show, but Austin Orman jumping in for hour number 2. Adam is out here on this Friday. He will be back on Monday. Jake Sorensen stopped in for a good first hour. If you didn't catch that, head to theticketfm.com afterwards and check that out. Of course, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Allo, all the normal opportunities there. And I did also want to let you know it is noon hour, and that means it's lunchtime here at The Ticket. That is sponsored by our friends at Mulberry Barbecue, now with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burnt-in sandwiches. A burnt-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, a half-smoked chicken, and much, much more, plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue. Again, located at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Austin, welcome into the noon hour. How's it going today?
It's great. I apologize to everyone who was looking forward to hearing Terrell Farley's voice, but he copped out, so you're stuck with me for another hour. Sorry, folks, but not too sorry.
That's right. Farley will be in for Bach in the Black Shirt as usual, so you have to wait another 55 minutes for that. But no reason to there's no downgrade there, and maybe athleticism a little bit. But
I can take Farley now.
You think so? He's
yeah.
still pretty athletic. I don't know if you've seen it. I mean,
I've seen him move a little bit.
Yeah,
but
we took him out to the hallway, one day, and he was trying to prove that he could still jump, and he jumped and hit something, one of the signs in the hallway that I never would even think about being able to hit. I mean, I just couldn't do it. And, he's nearing 50 now that his birthday has passed, and he's still able to do it. So
it wasn't an anti-Farley take. It was, I got to have some level of confidence in myself take, to be completely fair.
Well, fair enough. I'm just saying he's still pretty athletic, is what I would say there. But I asked Sorensen this. I want to ask you this as a Royals fan as well, heading into the final series here with the A's. Interesting kind of situation for the Royals. They're out of the playoff hunt now, out of the wild card race, but they are a game up of 500 entering the series. Therefore, if they win 2 games, then they'll have a winning record. If they get swept, they'll have a losing record. They win 1 game, they'll be even. Is it a big series? I mean, is that something that's important to you? Though it's all kind of written. You're not going to be in the postseason. The Royals don't often have winning seasons, so at least in that case, it would be another number that you can kind of throw into the winning seasons category. But even 500, would that appease you as a Royals fan this year? I mean, obviously knowing considering what you were expecting coming in.
Bach, travel back in time with me let's go back to 1994. Okay,
let's do it.
A strike-shortened season. Do you know, since 1994, how many times the Kansas City Royals have won even 78 games in a year?
There's, of course, the World Series appearance, the World Series win. There's last year. I was kind of looking at it earlier, so I'm cheating a little bit. I know there was the year before the World Series run. So I would guess those 4.
8 times in 32 years have the Royals won even 78 games in a 162 game season. 161, of course, they did that for a few years after the strike before it moved to 162 officially in the year 2000. Since 2000, the Royals have won 78 games or more in 2003. You got to skip all the way to 2013, 14, 15, 16, and 17. They won 81 and 80 games. And then last year they did it at 86, and this year they're at 80. Getting to 82 wins, which would be taking 2 out of 3 from Oakland, probably needs to happen. Just because, come on, it's the Oakland Athletics. Yes, they have a pulse this year. No, you're not just playing against a skeleton. But come on, if you can't win 2 out of 3 from the A's, who, I should note, swept the Royals in Kansas City as part of the Royals swoon in June, you got to be feeling a little bit pissed off about that maybe those 3 games are what kept you on the periphery of the playoff race instead of in it really in any meaningful way with 10 days to go. So there's absolutely pride on the line for these guys. I mean, this is a bunch of the same players that were around for the 56 and 106 year, just 2 seasons ago. So in the big picture, long run of the Kansas City Royals, Is there a huge difference between them winning 81 games and 82 games? No. 83 would be great. Finish a few games clear of 500. Absolutely sign up for it. Because I think, at the very least, the bare minimum baseline has been met. The Royals got Royals fans to football season. They were competitive. They were in the race, and they had a shot in September. That's all Royals fans have been asking for the last 32 years, and they did it. But again, that's the bare minimum. Year over year, sure, step back. Not going to make the playoffs after you win the wild card series last year. That's disappointing. Royals were maybe a little bit smoke and mirrors last year. I got to pull up the exact numbers here. Actually, I take it back. So the Royals were actually probably a little unlucky last year. 86 and 76 overall. Their Pythagorean win-loss was 91 and 71. So maybe 5 games unlucky. But, I mean, think about that. I mean, a team that went from 56 wins in 2023 to 86 wins, a 30-win jump. And the numbers are telling you it could have been a 35-win jump, which would have been unparalleled, not just in modern baseball history, but pretty much in baseball history, even back in the old days. So I think the bare minimum has been accomplished in the big picture sense. I mean, even if they get swept by Oakland, it's going to suck because there's a really sour taste in your mouth. You got swept by the A's twice. No one wants to do that. But, I mean, even if all they do is they end up winning 80 games, that's still a step forward in the big picture. And it'll tell you what you need to accomplish more for next year. Next year feels more playoffs or bust. This was okay, just don't collapse again. If last year was a miracle year, validate what you did last year. And for the most part, they did. Offense was still subpar, still below average. Pitching staff was good. I mean, that carried over for them year over year. So I think the Royals have already done enough to validate that last year felt fluky maybe at the time and was a historic turnaround, but wasn't necessarily a fluke. But now, okay, you've established that your floor is that you're going to be in the race in August. How do you take that next step as a franchise?
Well, let me ask you this, because it's just kind of interesting, because it does get to a point. Obviously, in baseball, you're not so much care about where you're going to land in the draft. Would you root against the Colts if they're, last week of the season, they can get a better draft pick if they lose? Have you? I mean, I'm sure you've been in that situation as a Colts fan. I've been there plenty as a Cardinals fan, and I'll openly admit, sometimes those wins late in the season, I just go, why? That's not better for the franchise. Do you find yourself ever rooting against your teams for draft position's sake?
It's funny because the Royals, especially over the last 10 years, have had a really, really fun run of drafting 6th in a 5-player draft or 7th in a 6-player draft. That's just how it's gone. And it's such a crapshoot anyways. Every team can point back to, this guy was still available when we picked. We took this guy instead of that guy. That's not new to every franchise. And of course, baseball has the new rules where you can't pick in the top 10 in more than 3 consecutive years. So that's where the winning season last year for the Royals was so good, because even if they had the third worst record in baseball, they wouldn't have been drawn in the lottery in the top 10. They would have picked 11th or 12th, somewhere like that. The NFL, it's a little bit different. I think I've been a little bit more front office pilled in football and basketball, where I've taken more that big picture approach to, this game's meaningless. Let's do what's best for the direction of the franchise in the long term. And I think there's an element of that that's healthy, in that a lot of fans wouldn't necessarily make that their first move, because it's just so unnatural. Why would I root against my team?
Yeah.
I want them to win every game. And I do think I have lost some of that fandom innocence of, well, of course they're my team. I want them to win every game. Let's go ahead and play spoiler and knock someone off. Or, we beat a division rival. That's always fun. What is the difference between picking 3rd and 4th in the NFL draft? It's different every year. Everyone's team needs are different. So, I've rooted against my team. I feel a little bit dirty doing it, but I can at least talk myself into, I didn't want to do it, but it made sense as to why I did.
Have you ever, here's the next question. This can even, drip into college athletics. Have you ever cheered against your team because you were tired of the coach, the management, and thought that maybe something needed to have that one last kick in the gut for the move to be made?
So I think that, to me, for the most part, goes hand in hand with the draft position thing. I don't know if I was ever actively rooting against Mike Matheny for Royals fans as the manager. Didn't love the guy, but I also don't want to just root against someone losing their livelihood, because what if that guy's never a Major League Baseball manager again? Part of it's on him, right? My rooting interest had nothing to do with it, but
right.
I have been brought back to earth a little bit in terms of the calling for jobs where, this guy sucks, he's the problem. So I think I try to frame it more as, oh, yeah, we want the better draft pick. Oh, yeah, we want to see the young guys play and see what they can do, more so than, yeah, screw this guy's got to go, so lose, lose, lose.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, especially when you kind of put yourself in that position. I know a lot of Husker fans have probably had opportunities where they may have given up on a coach before the official announcement has been made.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does. I mean, I've been there. I haven't gone as far as to root against anybody, hoping, because ultimately what you would hope as a fan, or what to cheer for, is that maybe you're wrong. I'd rather be wrong and my team be good than be right and then looking for the next direction of the program.
Well, that's where I'm at with the Colts.
Right.
I was not. I was
now.
not rooting for them to be bad by any means. My expectation of the ceiling was just be a normal 7-10. Are you telling me I was supposed to expect this from Daniel Jones? Sure, I was hoping for it, but I also understood that was in my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a fever dream right now. Now, you played one team with a pulse. maybe got a little help, but did enough to win at the end of the game. I mean, the red zone offense still isn't there. But the Indianapolis Colts haven't started 3-0 since the last time they went to the gosh dang Super Bowl. Peyton did it like once or twice. Andrew Luck did it never in his life, and they didn't even luck into it with any of the other like journeyman quarterbacks. So I was never rooting against the Colts coming into the year, but I definitely had my heart on emotional lockdown. Like, no, just flatline it. It's okay. Whatever they do, just hope they hold your attention for a while. You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention, Shane Steichen. You got it. Congratulations.
Well, it is interesting. I'll throw it out to the text line. 402-464-5685. Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. I've just thrown out scenarios. Is there any scenario in which it is okay to root against your team? And then almost the follow-up question, could you do it? Can you actively do it? Because there's one thing to think this might be better for my team. The other thing is to sit there and actively root for it. When the Cardinals are in a position that they could get a better draft pick, they're heading into the week, they're going to win 4 or 5 games. I'd rather it be 4 so they can get a higher draft pick. I don't actively watch the game and cheer for them. I think that would be a cheer against them. I think that would be very difficult to do.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you can't just sit down and wear your Cardinals gear and say, yes, he got sacked. Take that, Kyler.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your snapped ankle, James Conner. You did it. We're there. Oh, yeah, let's go.
That would be tough.
No, can't do that. That's too far.
I don't think there's much possibility there. Though I do think it's interesting, just, from where we sit, and we do see it on the text line, because I've seen it. I've seen it a little bit. Now it's a little bit. Actually, it still happens. Hoiberg still gets calls from the text line at times where people may be rooting. I don't know if they're rooting against him or just calls for firing him. That, of course, happened a lot more than, before the previous season.
Mm-hmm.
Will Bolt seems to get that more than anything. They lose one game, and there's always somebody on the text line saying, yeah, he's got to go.
Yeah, Nebraska baseball is just in such a fascinating position because it's never really been a powerhouse program outside of one, 5 to 6 year run. And so their expectations on that program that it lived up to once and hasn't before. And of course, when you taste that success, you tend to believe that, this should be more repeatable. And I tend to agree that it probably should be better, not just under Will Bolt, but even under Darren Erstad, the postseason, maybe underperformance, going back to Mike Anderson, the way that kind of fizzled out. Nebraska baseball probably does need to be better. But I think a head coach or a manager in baseball has even less control on anything that goes on in the batter's box and in the field and on the mound with his guys. He has less control than a football head coach. He has less control than a basketball head coach. At least it feels like it, just in terms of the game itself. So Will Bolt's got plenty of questions to answer. I'm not sure he's the guy to take Nebraska baseball back to those heights, but Nebraska could certainly do worse than Will Bolt. He's fine. He's just kind of right now generic middle of the road college baseball coach.
Yeah, and last year, last year was just the hardest to to really figure out a way. When they finished close to 500, but they won the Big Ten tournament. So there's plenty of frustration throughout the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
But then you end up as Big Ten champs. That's the goal all along. And then to further the questions about whether that was a good season or not, their postseason after the Big Ten wasn't all that great either. So kind of interesting to kind of dissect there. A few different thoughts here off the text line. Let's see. 1508 says Nebraska baseball is also the farthest Southern team in the Big Ten before the newcomers. So kind of pointing out that. But he also said baseball doesn't matter much as in football. 100% the Titans should lose every game this year. He's already turned on his Titans.
I mean, so that's the other funny part when it comes to the NFL is, especially for the Titans, with a rookie quarterback like Cam Ward, who's like balling out and making some plays. Why do you want the Titans to lose? Probably not because of Cam Ward. If anything, I think if you're a Titans fan, you want them to lose, but still have enough infrastructure around Cam Ward that you don't shoot his confidence or get him killed, right? Like if you're going to lose game as Titans fans, you probably want them to be like 40-27. See some positive signs from the offense, but we traded away our starting corner to the Jets after week 3. So since the defense isn't good enough, but we can replenish that. We got youth or whatever. Be careful what you wish for. You got to hope Cam Ward has the mental acuity to hold up behind that. But the Nebraska baseball thing, until someone gets it going, is going to be a fascinating conversation because it's not like the West Coast powers that got brought in are exactly powers. Oregon, sure, relatively consistent regional host and super regional team. Washington, nothing to write home about. UCLA, certainly not at the peak of its powers. And USC is one of like the most storied baseball programs in history. And they're not even there. It still does boggle my mind a little bit that Nebraska hasn't been able to pull the whole Gonzaga shtick, dominate a lower major, mid-major baseball style of conference. But, I don't think Husker fans should necessarily stop striving for that. But, maybe Will Bolt's the guy that can get Nebraska there. And if not even he can do it, maybe this is just what Nebraska baseball is. Hard to believe, not what we're rooting for, I think, if you're a Husker baseball fan. But at some point, a program tells you what it is. Yeah. I'm not saying it's impossible for Will Bolt to elevate it, but maybe there are more challenges than we think. Maybe it's not as simple as Big Ten bad, Nebraska must be good. Maybe there is more behind the scenes with funding, in development, in the assistant coach pool, and all that stuff that factors in even more. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I do think you're onto something there because it was always like this arrogance or, like you said, kind of expectation once Nebraska joined the Big Ten. Oh, it's an easier baseball conference. Then you had, some really good series out of the gate with Indiana or games there. And so, it kind of made you feel, okay, this is what it's going to be. And it just hasn't turned out that way quite to the level. I mean, Nebraska's won some, won some conference tournament champions, regular season champions. So they've seen that success to a degree, but it hasn't been running the conference. And I think you're too far in at this point to say that should be, or, should still be the expectation.
Mm-hmm. It's one thing to set your goal for a program, right? Like, why can't they get there? But Nebraska baseball has proven it's not going to dominate year in, year out. It's got to take steps in that direction. And winning back-to-back Big Ten titles, fantastic. Job well done. Legitimate tip of the cap to you. But then it begs the question, okay, well, why is the regular season so suspect then? Is it really that hard? And that's why you can't say it was an unsuccessful season for Nebraska last year. Shoot, they made it to regionals again. That's awesome. Good on them for that. But I just worry in terms of long-term health of the program. Is it sustainable to bank on winning the Big Ten tournament every year, especially in a sport defined by random variants like baseball? No, I would rather see Nebraska, I'm sure fans would too, be more consistent in the regular season and then need to win, 1 or 2 games to maybe help improve their seeding or lock up an NCAA regional appearance, rather than it's do or die. We're going to lose our first game here with the Big Ten tournament and go on a miracle run. Like, that's just not tenable in the long run.
Yeah, it's not going to happen every year, but those miracle runs are fun. I'll have to say that.
Yeah.
Of course, they did lose their Friday starter right out of the gate, so there are always going to be things to point to. But some news in Nebraska baseball, if you look at it that way too, not necessarily Nebraska, but the top-rated 2027 baseball player in the state, Bubba Day of Omaha Skutt, has committed to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And tough to lose that one, and tough to lose anybody to the SEC, but it kind of goes back to that question. I know you're a big basketball fan. I always kind of thought my way through that too. If I'm a top basketball prospect in Nebraska, I think I might stick around, but I don't blame many people for not if they left. I mean, even going back to the Baylor Shireman decision, Creighton certainly looks like a better option in state than Nebraska does more often than not. Unfortunately, if you're looking at developing yourself, making memories, that sort of stuff. Again, I'm a Nebraska fan through and through. I'd probably stick it out, come here, and but obviously it would never be in that situation. But my point to all that is to say, if you're Bubba Day and you picked him, I can't really blame him for picking an SEC school to go and try to develop him as a baseball player rather than stay home and try to do one for, and I don't know if his allegiance is or if he liked Nebraska or not or whatever, but, just to lose an in-stater, it always hurts, but
it's Tennessee. I mean, he's going to go play for a top 5 coach in the sport, in Tony Vitello, right? That's a magnetic type of personality in a program that's getting guys ready for the next level. Just kind of scrolling through Nebraska's baseball roster. So this would be for 2026. Jeter and Jalen Worthley, right from Lincoln East. Jalen has proven he can throw innings in the Big Ten. Michigan wanted him as well, I believe. Good player. Legit college baseball player, not a superstar. You scroll through Elliot Peterson, JUCO guy, went to Arkansas, transfers back home. Max Butenbach, decent offers, but wasn't exactly having SEC teams beat down the door for him. Will Jeske transferred back into Nebraska, same sort of way. Scrolling back down just through the Nebraska guys, Joey Senstock. Man, doesn't move the needle for me. Tucker Timmerman, solid, fine, good. Maybe not an SEC level arm right now. We'll see what's left. Then you get to your Ryan Harrahills out of Elkhorn North. You get to Jay-Sean Unger out of Blair. You get to Colin Novacek from Elkhorn North as well. Good players, solid players, highly rated in the state. Then you think about what Nebraska missed out on in the in-state recruiting. Max Anderson only came to Nebraska because of COVID rules, because Texas A&M overstocked its roster. He didn't commit to Nebraska until he had really no other choice at that point. You think about Tyson Lewis tearing it up in complex ball for the Reds. Went to Arkansas. Barely gave Nebraska a second thought. You think about, Cam Kojal from Millard South, right? Bennett Vandy and Arkansas now. I mean, yeah, Nebraska prep baseball talent is good. But Nebraska is still struggling to bring in the no doubt, number one prospects in the state that SEC schools are getting. And that's not just on Nebraska. That's, who wouldn't want to go play for some of those schools in those environments. So it's on Nebraska, I think, to continue to climb the ladder of relevancy and continue to prove it can put guys in the MLB draft. That's the other problem, too, is that some of the guys that have been Nebraska preps have gone straight to college. Or not they skipped college and gone straight to the pros, right? Drew Christo is kind of the exception that Nebraska got here, but like a Cale Fountain who's going to go to LSU over Nebraska. Again, high school to pros, though. So it's been just really, really interesting and Tyson Lewis is in that as well, went to the Reds instead of going to Arkansas. I'm going to correct myself on that. So it's more to me on Nebraska baseball, Nebraska men's basketball, Nebraska football. We spend a lot of time talking about be worthy and earn being these guys' number one consideration. You can't bank on, they're an in-state kid, so we automatically have a chance.
Yeah. The hometown discount is called just that because sometimes it's going to be on that person to give something out to go and stay home, and not everybody necessarily wants to do that. And again, baseball recruiting always blows my mind because you do have to there's so many different options for the kid to get them to choose your school. Of course, you fill up classes. I'm not saying it's the hardest thing to do. Everybody does it and gets people in, but there's just so many options, for them, even beyond just, like you said, choosing from school to school, that it's that could be difficult. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. This is the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We kind of talked about in this segment a little bit of Nebraska baseball there, but we were opening up. Is it ever okay to cheer against your team? Just wanted to get some thoughts in there real quick. David M said, never really can bring myself to do that. At the end of the day, it's my team and I want them to win. I think that's where most people would side, but we did have somebody text in. To be honest, I honestly rooted against Frost after the onside kick versus Northwestern. So again, it could get there. I don't necessarily blame anybody, but man, that's it's tough to get so bad that you turn against your own team, and some teams and some fans have been through that. I say it, and there's always these rules about being a fan and can't wear a jersey of someone that's younger, older than you, whatever. Just be a fan. A fan is for fun. Have fun with it. We have all these rules for it. You can do whatever you want to. And I always like the idea. I'm more of a fan than you. Like, how do we measure that sort of stuff? It's impossible to measure. So let's go ahead and take a quick break here on the Adam Carriker Show. We'll be back with more on 93.7 The Ticket.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It's time for Bonzal Pool and Spa's Truckload event. From September 23rd through the 27th, stop by Bonzal Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to see an actual truck full of hot tubs with special prices. You'll save up to $3,000 on all hot tubs and swim spas, as well as $1,500 on all saunas and cold plunges. Use Nebraska football's bye week well by stopping in on September 27th for refreshments and giveaways. That's Bonsall Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard in Lincoln.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
With your weekly high school sports update, I'm Nick Sainert. Capital City Schools had a respectable showing last Friday with Lincoln High beating South Sioux City 26-21. Lincoln Northeast stayed undefeated and improved to 4-0 with a 35-27 win against North Platte. Lincoln North Star blew out Omaha South 57-8. And in an inner city matchup, Lincoln East shut out Lincoln Southwest 20-0. We now turn our attention to Week 5 action this Thursday and Friday night with Lincoln Southeast traveling to number 1 Millard South. Lincoln Northeast hosts number 6 Omaha North and number 4 Kearney versus number 10 Lincoln East this Friday night. This has been your weekly high school update on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Buckman. He is Austin Orman. The big man, Adam Carriker, will be back on Monday, so no fear there. There's just no Husker game tomorrow, so take an extra day off here on the bye week, and we'll get us ready for the Michigan State game next week. Austin, you had too much time to look into Michigan State as of yet, or did you enjoy the bye week without really breaking down the next opponent too much?
I have not dove so far into Michigan State outside of the headlines. I did watch a little bit of their game against USC. Did not start off that well for them, but they were game. They made it a game. And at this point, I mean, it's worth diving into the opponent because it's interesting. Aiden Childs intrigues me. Jonathan Smith, I think, is a sneaky UCLA candidate.
Interesting.
You didn't hear that from me. But, they have enough intriguing. Nick Marsh is pretty interesting out at wide receiver as well. But more than anything, it shouldn't be about Michigan State. They're similar to Nebraska in a lot of ways. They're different in a lot of ways. But what it comes down to is that they're good enough to beat Nebraska, and yet Nebraska being at home off a bye week should have more than enough answers for them. So, those pieces that we definitely will need to get into and talk about just for the sake of, informing our listeners, as we love to do here on The Ticket. But I also, to a point, don't really care. This is more of a put up or shut up week for Nebraska for me, more so than anything.
And it is interesting, too. I mean, I look at Michigan State in, obviously, again, they're the next opponent up. It's and I've kind of put it as phrases of a must-not-lose type of game instead of a must-win type of game. The win doesn't really put you on the radar or do anything necessarily for you, but losing it obviously would put Nebraska fans and the program a little bit into a panic. It is interesting, too, is if you look at the schedule with Michigan State and Maryland come up, it's just kind of giving me flashbacks to Matt Rule's first year when Nebraska was 5-3. They had needed to win one game remaining. Harlan Burnett was the interim coach at Michigan State who had lost, I think, 6 or 7, or I think it was 6, but might as well have been 7. And Nebraska drops that game. And then, by it was the old chasing 3 thing. Lost that game 20-17. Then lost to Maryland at home 13-10, despite trying, I think, 8, 9, 10 different quarterbacks in that game. That didn't work. Then lost the overtime to Wisconsin 24-17. Of course, you don't have Wisconsin on the schedule this year, and then dropped that one to 13-10 to Iowa there to finish the season at 5-7. You go back to that Michigan State game in 2023, very frustrating. the most winnable game there left on the schedule for Nebraska. And just think, had they won that game, what the difference might have been moving forward. And so, I mean, that's what I'll ask you here. If Nebraska wins that game, they're bowl eligible year one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? How times would have changed, or what would that have jump started? A little bit more expectation would it have at all changed year two for Matt Rule?
But it would have jump started expectations without a doubt. I mean, that's a game that Nebraska trailed 3-0, tied it going into half, and then was down 20-10 before the late touchdown. And weren't they close to getting an onside kick or something late in that game?
Close. This is a close game. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those that I think more than anything, what it would have done is answered some more questions about Matt Rule in November, because you're 5-3 and you go 0-4. 0-4 in November against a Michigan State team who, it was on senior day. They had 2 road and a neutral game left going into that one. So, okay, emotions are running high, whatever. But come on. You lost to that Michigan State team in that situation. And then it was Maryland at home the next week that you had dead to rights until you didn't. And then Wisconsin, you get up 14-0 on a mediocre Wisconsin team. Chubba Purdy's running for his life.
Yeah.
And you fall down in the back of the end zone and you come up short. And then, of course, the way things ended with Iowa that year as well. At the very least, you got the bowl eligibility. I'm not saying for sure that Nebraska slams the door on either Maryland or Wisconsin or finds a way to beat Iowa. But at the very least, you're bowl eligible. The conversation around the program is, it wasn't a terrible year one for Matt Rule. I mean, 5-7 is just ugly. Like, how much could have changed? I mean, it's not, the 2-10 or the 3-9 like he had before, but it's still 5-7. That's just not a couple of fun numbers to look at. It's the NFL equivalent of 7-9.
Yeah.
Right. Like, bleh, just whatever. But
and just the fact that they were so close to each of those final 4 games.
Oh yeah. But then you parlay an 0-4 November into a November where, to their credit, they got better last year, but it's 1-3. Nebraska's 1-7 in November the last 2 years. Not that 2-6 is much better, but at least you can say, yeah, those 2 wins got us to bowl eligibility. And then the conversation is, okay, well, let's say Nebraska did get to a bowl, whether they won it or lost it, who cares? But then last year is 6-6 still a step in the right direction, or would we be having different conversations because, well, they were 6-6 in year one, they had to be 7-5 or 8-4 in year two, which then frames this year as, okay, they went from 6-6 to maybe 8-4 last year. If they're not 10-2 and in the playoff conversation, it's the lost season. We got to start having those conversations. They're on pace for what a Matt Rule build, I think, normally looks like generally. Certainly not ahead of schedule, but they're not behind schedule.
Yeah. I think I think they are. I mean, they're in a good spot. Obviously, coming off the Michigan win, we're all a little bit frustrated because, again, going back to that 2023 season, a winnable game, opportunities to win that game. But it's not time to give up or get frustrated with where they are as a program. I think that they're fine in that way. Let me ask you this, because I talked to Sorensen about this too. Are you okay if Nebraska doesn't beat a ranked team this year? I mean, they win 8 games, 9 games perhaps even. There's only 3 ranked teams on their schedule. You think they could have a successful season without beating a ranked team?
If Nebraska only loses to ranked teams, right now that's 9-3. Seems a little pie in the sky to me. If Nebraska goes 8-4, lose to Minnesota, beat USC, successful year. If Nebraska beats Minnesota, loses to USC, at least you beat Minnesota.
Yeah.
You've lost, 6 in a row, 7 in a row to PJ, too many in a row to PJ Fleck. Kind of owns this program right now. I was saying this with Nick yesterday, or was it with Evan Blaine or on Wednesday, one of the two, something to the effect of, it would still be a step in the right direction, big picture. Like, you can't tell me that if Nebraska goes 8-4, it's still not improvement.
Yeah,
regardless. That's 2 more wins. Now, sooner than later, you have to snap that top 25 streak. Your company right now is Rutgers. That's not the guy that Nebraska fans want to be alone with at the bar at the end of the night. Plain and simple, right? That's not your drinking buddy. It shouldn't be. You got to get off this night eventually. For Nebraska as a program and for Matt Rule, right? I get it. I understand why Matt Rule doesn't want to be looped into the top 25 wins conversation. But at some point, Matt, we start looking at your resume as well. You haven't done it that frequently. So yeah, the past is the past. Yeah, it's a new situation. Just to be a normal college football program, you have to be a top 25 team once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
We've been waiting some blue moons for Nebraska to do it. So I still think that yes, beating a ranked team is one of the next few steps to success for Nebraska. And that is a bare minimum base level bar to clear at this point for really any program in college football. But I still think if Nebraska goes, even 7-5 would be a small step up in the right direction. Nebraska 7-5, 8-4 at the end of the year, but they lost to Michigan, USC, and Penn State. I think it's too early to have the Nebraska can't win the big game conversation, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Again, just to where Matt Rule's program is and clearly building, especially if you're in that, that conversation of winning and winning games more so than the previous season. Gorilla Bear does say Matt Rule has to beat a ranked team. He's never beaten a Power 5 top 25 team. That's not a good look for a head coach in the Big Ten, where you'll likely have multiple teams in the top 25 every year.
I agree with the sentiment, and I don't want to keep moving the goalpost side to side or pushing them further down the road, because it does need to happen for Nebraska at some point. But you look at those opportunities. Michigan beat Nebraska up in the trenches. We've talked about that. USC is probably going to take a similar attitude and approach to Nebraska, who's gotten better athletically, but let's not underrate USC's athletes in scheme, and let's not overrate Nebraska's. Nebraska's gotten better. Nebraska still might not be at USC's pure talent level. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. That's why we're going to play the game in November. And Penn State is a horrible matchup for Nebraska right now, right? Just with the two running backs they have, the offensive line that they have, you can imagine Michigan, but worse, on the road at Penn State. So, yeah, that's why it's called an upset. It's not like last year where, Nebraska and Illinois, we thought were on equal footing. Nebraska didn't play well in that game, but even look at where those two programs went from that game. Illinois went up into a borderline top 10 finish, and Nebraska went down to needing a win in November to get to bowl eligibility and still going 1-3 there. Nebraska and Illinois last year were closer than Nebraska and Michigan were this year, I think. Illinois had its flaws, played a little bit into Nebraska's hands as a defense. This year, I don't think Michigan fully capitalized on its advantages over Nebraska. And so, yeah, Nebraska and Matt Rule specifically, they do need to beat a top 25 team. That's just a rite of passage, a normal college football program thing to do. Felt like Michigan was the right opportunity for it. Nebraska didn't take advantage. I don't think it's wrong to say Michigan was the opportunity, but I hope in retrospect we can see that, okay, maybe that's not as good an opportunity as we propped it up to be.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see how good Michigan is for the rest of the season. That's certainly going to be something to follow. I'm interested in the Cincinnati-Kansas game this weekend to see how good Cincinnati is, too. So, we'll know more as the season goes on, and hopefully, again, it was just a question that threw out there. Nebraska's not going to be favored in the USC or Penn State game, to your point, and part of it is overcoming the talent deficit that you have. Nebraska might, that's why those programs are where they are. Nebraska is where they are, is you got to take those steps up. But to your point, it's something that eventually, Nebraska got that Hail Mary last week, and it was just such a weird feeling because nothing like surprising or abnormal or like in a good way generally has happened for Nebraska. So hopefully some of the good luck is starting to head over to Nebraska football. I don't know what we did to the football gods all those years ago, but must have been something to offend them. All right, let's go ahead and take one more break. We will come back and wrap up the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is your year where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
It's time for Bonzal Pool and Spa's Truckload event. From September 23rd through the 27th, stop by Bonzal Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to see an actual truck full of hot tubs with special prices. You'll save up to $3,000 on all hot tubs and swim spas, as well as $1,500 on all saunas and cold plunges. Use Nebraska football's bye week well by stopping in on September 27th for refreshments and giveaways. That's Bonsall Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard in Lincoln.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it's time for a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, features, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
This is Rick Heyman with Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman is celebrating 120 years, and you could win big. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for your chance to win a $120 gift certificate every week. That's right, we're giving away $120 every week as a thank you for being part of our story. Don't miss your chance to treat yourself. Follow Sartor Heyman Jewelers today. Celebrating 120 years. Sartor Heyman, when only the best will do.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at UCLA in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at huskerfantravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at huskerfantravel.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! We are back here for the final segment of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Once again, let you know Adam is out today. He will be back on Monday. Myself, Jake Bachman, and Austin Orman in here with you to round out the show. Excuse me a little bit there. Big weekend in college football. Should be very exciting. Some big matchups in particular. Want to get your thoughts on real quick, Austin. Of course, you can hear Austin later on during the show, or on the station, what I was going for, from 3 to 6 on Old School, and you get plenty of his thoughts here. So I know you might make some picks. You don't have to necessarily make your picks here, but of course, the big one is Oregon and Penn State. I've seen the Pat McAfee show right now. They're going through and talking to Drew Aller and James Franklin, and it's a big one there in Penn State. Of course, this is a rematch of the Big Ten title game last year. Hard to say that maybe the Big Ten runs through these teams because Ohio State did win the national championship. Is that the game you're most intrigued by tomorrow in a slate full of great games? Oh, sorry. Get your mic on.
It's okay. I get it. You want me off the air. It's fine,
Yeah,
Bach. I can just leave. It's okay. It's certainly just from the Big Ten aspect holds my intrigue probably the most. Penn State, I've been a little underwhelmed by. Oregon, I've been more impressed by. I think it's a big game for Penn State, right? James Franklin can win the big one. He can have the magical regular season, beat a team that's ranked around the same as him. It's a top 10 opponent. And it means a lot, for James Franklin and Penn State to win this game. But I think it means just as much for Oregon that, we're not just a flash in the pan. We're not just the new kids on the block coming in hot and then we'll just be fine from there. Oregon goes on the road and wins this game. I think that says a lot about the sustainability of this program under Dan Lanning, his ability and his staff's ability to recruit and develop. I don't know if I have a lean one way or the other. I think it's going to be a tough environment for Oregon. I think Penn State's still really talented and they got to figure it out at some point. But I'm not surprised if Oregon goes on the road and wins this game. Not in the slightest. I mean, Penn State lost its best player on offense and defense from last year's Big Ten championship game. The story was, look at all Penn State's continuity, quarterback and running backs, enough of the offensive line. And I get that. But Oregon hasn't really missed a beat. Kenyon Sadiq is incredible. Dante Moore's playing pretty well. Mekhi Hughes has fit. I assume we're in for a barn burner of a game.
Yeah, I can't wait for the game. But it is interesting too because Penn State, just hasn't had the chance to flash too much. I wouldn't say struggled, but didn't quite beat Nevada as much as maybe people thought they would, and that kind of put them off the map. And since then, they beat FIU 34-0. Again, maybe you could put some more points on the board against an FIU team. Beat Villanova 52-6. But what I'm so intrigued by is the drop. He's almost disappeared. Drew Aller was supposed to be, without a doubt, the best quarterback in the Big Ten. Now we see all these Big Ten quarterback rankings come out week in and week out. He's like 8th or 9th. His quarterback QBR on the year is 38.7, which is not very good, but has 4 touchdowns to 1 pick so far. And then on the opposite end of this game is Dante Moore, who we didn't know too much about. Again, started half a season for UCLA before transferring last year and serving as the backup to Dylan Gabriel at Oregon. So there was all this kind of like, potentially he could be that guy. A lot of preseason rankings had him kind of, on the spot kind of up there, we expect, because he's an Oregon quarterback, but not quite. We don't know what to look here. Does Oregon have the advantage at quarterback despite all our offseason proclamations of Drew Aller?
It's kind of feeling like it at this point. Jay and I talked about this a little bit for those of you that missed it yesterday. I am more surprised by Clemson's offensive struggles than I am Penn State's, or at least at the quarterback position, because I don't think Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator, and Drew Aller are necessarily a match. It's a little bit of an awkward marriage, I feel like. And I don't mean this to be reductive and say that Andy Kotelnicki can only succeed with quarterbacks like he had at Kansas and Jaden Daniels. But I think part of what Penn State wanted was the creativity. I don't think Drew Aller is a creativity type of quarterback. And I'm just more surprised that Garrett Riley with a quarterback in Cade Klubnik that's more similar to Max Duggan than Drew Aller is to Jaden Daniels hasn't had more success.
I'll tell you what, and that's like another reason why I want to watch this Kansas-Cincinnati game this week. Jaden Daniels is a lot of fun to watch. I think he's like 26 years old now by now or something like that. But he's incredible, some of the plays that he can pull off for the Jayhawks. All right, that'll wrap it up for the Adam Carriker Show. Thanks again to Jake Sorensen and Austin Overman for jumping in with me today. Don't go anywhere. Bach in the black shirt coming up next. And we do have a Cash Blitz keyword coming up for you at the top of the hour as well. That's coming next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth 93.